The Supreme Court's detailed order on the arrest of Mohammed Zubair, the Alt News' co-founder, was uploaded last night and has very important parts of the judgment on the issue of personal liberty and the power of arrest. Amongst other things, the bench headed by Justice Chandrachud said that the power of arrest must be used sparingly by authorities, that arrest is not meant to be and must not be used as a punitive tool, that courts must ensure that investigations are not used as a tool of harassment, and that the petitioner, in this case Zubair, has been trapped in a vicious cycle of the criminal process where the process itself has become the punishment. Also responding to the UP government's demands to have him stop tweeting, the court said that it amounts to a gag order which has a chilling effect on the freedom of speech. Joining us on NDTV now is the former judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Madan Lokur, who is with us. Justice Lokur, how significant is this order on Zubair? Certainly it has ramifications beyond him.
Yes, I think it's a very important order. But in a sense, it's a reiteration of what has been already said earlier, including maybe about 2 weeks ago by the Supreme Court. But, what I think is very, very important is the fact that the Supreme Court has said that you have to explain why continued detention or why continued custody is necessary, right? That's for the prosecution to explain to the court. It's not for the accused person to say why I should be granted bail. Okay, bail is a matter of right. It should be granted to him. That's why, we say bail and not jail. So it's really the onus is on the prosecution to show why the continued detention of that person is necessary. I think this is something which has been brought out by the Supreme Court in one of the paragraphs in the judgment. Right. The second thing I think that is very important that comes out of this judgment is that you must investigate first and then arrest if it is necessary. It's not that you arrest a person and then you start investigating. Now, what they did in this particular case of Zubair was they arrested him. Then they started, trying to find out what are the tweets that he has, given, and then find out what is the impact of those tweets and so on and so forth. So investigation must precede arrest. I think that is extremely important. What has been happening so far in many of the cases is first put the person, into custody, whether it's police custody or judicial custody, and then start investigation and tell the court, we are investigating, so therefore the detention must continue. That is wrong, and I think this is something which the Supreme Court has mentioned.
I think the question, though, sir, is that is the message going to go out to the lower judiciary in particular and to the police? All these sort of different wings have to work and do their jobs in the right spirit in order for the Supreme Court's order to be followed in letter and spirit. I mean, we have the Chief Justice of India saying this, and government data backs him up. Nearly 76% of Indian prisoners are under trials. 76%. There are some 3 lakh plus bail applications pending in the entire country.
Yes, it's an important question that you've asked, whether this message will trickle down. I don't know. The Supreme Court has said this so many times, including 2 or 3 weeks ago. In Arnesh Kumar in 2014, they said it. Now, the message should trickle down at some point of time. Hopefully, it will trickle down now. But one doesn't know, the police has their own way of functioning. What can one say about it?
No, but would it help if the top court actually came down on lower courts for orders that curtailed personal liberty, or on the police? If there's accountability, would that help?
Oh, yes, I think they should. In fact, in my view, we have to develop this accountability jurisprudence. If the police go on arresting people just for the fun of it, and then say, all right, now we are investigating. Somebody has to be responsible for all this. You just can't pick up a person and say, I think you've done something. I'm putting you inside and I'll investigate. If I find something against you, fine. If I don't find something against you, well, okay, I'll release you. This is exactly what happened in Aryan Khan's case. They arrested him. And after 1 month, they say, we found nothing against you, so we are releasing you. What's going on?
But it's not just the lower courts. I mean, when you look at high courts as well, and that's what's disturbing. If you look at, for instance, the Bhima Koregaon case, where the accused have spent some 4+ years in jail now without recourse to bail. Stan Swamy died in jail while waiting for a bail order to come through. And here it was, the Bombay High Court which failed him. So what does one say? I mean, the high courts are supposed to be the higher judiciary.
Yes, you're right. The police is definitely accountable, should be made accountable. But I think the courts also have to, pull up their socks and do something about it. You just can't, on the asking of the police, send a person into police custody, whether it's for 1 day or whether it's for 4 days or whatever. It should not be done. They have to think about it. Now, take Zubair's case, for example. The FIR says section 295 of the IPC. It does not say 295A. But all along, everybody has proceeded on the basis that it's 295A. Now, there's a world of a difference between 295 and 295A. But the magistrate did not apply his mind to this. Nor did the court the very next day and sent him again to 4 days judicial custody. So the courts are equally, they are bound to follow the law. They should follow the law, whether it's the district court or whether it's the high court. The high court has also lapsed, on some occasions. For example, in the case of Mohammed Farooqi, the principles laid down by the Supreme Court in the case of Arnesh Kumar were not followed, and the Supreme Court said, well, it's not been followed, so they have to be released. He has to be released. So I think, the courts, whether it is the district courts or whether it's the high court, they all need to, gear up and say that, listen, we are not going to take this any longer.
Well, I hope that they're listening this time. As you said, Justice Lokur, you don't know, because the Supreme Court has said this from time to time. Maybe this time they actually do hear what it has to say. Thank you for joining us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.